So the overthrown of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah has been one of the most debatable issues in Ghanaian and politics today as to why Nkrumah was overthrown. Somebody who gained independence for Ghana, but yet was overthrown in that way, in that manner. And so today we are going to look at the reasons that some people gave for their overthrow of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So on 24th of February 1966, the Ghana Armed Forces, together with the Ghana Police, they overthrew Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his government, and that's the CPP. Now, take note that at the time of the coup, Nkrumah was not in Ghana. Nkrumah was on a peace mission in Hanoi, of course, and Hanoi is a town in Vietnam, in the Far East. So ironically, Nkrumah was on a peace mission, but then he himself, of course, had no peace in his country. Now, the coup is considered as a bloodless coup without any resistance. So when we say a coup is a bloodless coup, it means that nobody was hurt or killed in the course of the coup. Now, the important thing about the coup was that it looks like the coup, received such joy or spontaneous jubilation among all Ghanaians when the news broke out that Nkrumah had been overthrown. I mean, all classes of people were just happy in the whole country. And today we will look at the reasons why they were happy. Now, even some, of course, ministers in Nkrumah's own cabinet were also very much happy that Nkrumah had been overthrown. And so, because sometimes Nkrumah had dismissed some of these ministers from office. Now, when the coup was taken, the CPP, or the Convention Supposed Party, was disbanded, and for the 1960 Constitution, the first Republican Constitution in the country, was also suspended. And should, in case you want to know the features of the 1960 Constitution, you can also check in the link in the description. I have the video on the features of the 1960 Constitution there. Now, for that Constitution made Ghana a republic, and that Constitution was suspended, the CPP was disbanded. Now, the coup was actually undertaken by two people, Colonel Emmanuel E.K. Kutuka, or Kwesi Kutuka, and then also Major Akwesi Amankwa Afrifa. These were the two main coup plotters or architects that undertook the coup against the Osagyefo government, or the CPP government. E.K. Kutuka and then Major A.A. Afrifa. And these people will later be killed by Jerry John Rawlings as time, of course, moved on. So they overthrew the CPP party, and then they formed the National Liberation Council. So Ankara was also part of the coup. And so the National Liberation Council was established, and J.A. Ankara became the leader of the coup. Bear in mind that Ankara also played a very important role in the overthrow of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1966. So let's then go into the reasons why Nkrumah was overthrown and why everybody was happy. Now, the first of the reasons was Nkrumah's introduction of the Preventive Detention Act, the PDA, and it was commonly called the PDA. Now, what was this PDA about? Now, the PDA was passed by Parliament. It wasn't Nkrumah's own, Nkrumah did not introduce the PDA by decree. No. The PDA was passed by Parliament. And under the PDA, it gave the president, Nkrumah, the right to detain people, arrest and detain people without trial. Basically, of course, that is what the PDA was about. It gave the president the right to arrest and detain people without any trial. So the question would be, why would Nkrumah introduce such an obnoxious or wicked act? Because if we claim we are a democratic state, why would such an act be enacted by Parliament? Now, the reason is quite simple. Nkrumah had about 5 assassination attempts on his life. 5. Some were bombings. People tried to bomb him. Even, and if you care to know, I also have a video on some of the people who actually took bomb for Nkrumah or who were hurt in the process. I have, of course, one named Salifu, and then there is another woman who just died like 2 years ago, Asantua, who got the whole head, the whole leg cut off or chopped off. And you can watch, of course, that video as well and hear the accounts of these people, horrifying accounts. So as a president, when you've had 5 assassination attempts on your life, what are you going to do? Are you going to just sit there and watch people try to kill you? No. So Nkrumah felt that a law should be enacted to give him, of course, the right to arrest people that he deemed were behind his bombings or killings. And that led to the arrest and detain of a lot of people. J.B. Dankwa, for instance, was arrested under this PDA. Obechebi Lamte was also arrested, and they were all kept at the Insawam Security Medium prison. Unfortunately, J.B. Dankwa died in prison under Nkrumah's arrest. And so, well, I don't know what you think about this PDA, but you can share your views in the comment section, because if you are a president, I don't think you will sit there and watch people play with your life anyhow. I recall when somebody was found with, I think, a gun under during Muhammad's reign in a church. They arrested the person and all of that. Even this guy, Oliver Vakamo, or whatever they call the convener of the Fix the Country. You saw how they even treated him when he just said that if care is not taken, there is going to be another coup. Look at how the sitting government maltreated him. So I don't think if you were to be in the shoes of Nkrumah, you will not take any action. Now, the next of the reason why Nkrumah was overthrown was the lack of interest in Nkrumah's foreign policies. Now, Nkrumah's foreign policies were condemned by many, especially the Western powers, as well as even some African leaders. So, what was this policy that was condemned by these people? Nkrumah's foreign policy was basically about African unity, uniting the African country, uniting the African continent into one country to become a United States of Africa with one president, with one military high command, with one currency, and also with one economic policies. And to Nkrumah, he felt that that was the only way that, what he called neo-colonialism could be defeated. And today we find traces of neo-colonialism all over us. Okay, and so that whole foreign policy was not, something that the West, especially, who were gaining a lot from Ghana, were interested to see that Africa becomes, or Africa creates a continental union government, because it will go against their interests. And don't forget that this is politics. So a lot of people saw Nkrumah as being over ambitious, and so some of the foreign powers, supported, some people to actually overthrow the first president of the Republic. Now, the next, reason why Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown was Nkrumah's establishment of the president's own guard regiment, the POGR. Because I've earlier indicated that Nkrumah suffered 5 assassination attempts. Now, there was one particular assassination attempt whereby his own police guard, the person, or of course the officer who is paid with the taxpayers' money to protect for the president, tried to kill him on his way to the Osu Castle from his office. A police officer who was on duty to guard the president tried to assassinate the president, opened fire. He actually opened fire on the president. And the president had to, run for safety or for cover. And that was when one guy, Salifu, took a bullet for Nkrumah. And as I have already indicated, there is a video on that whole incident. You can check in the description. I may add the link there. If it is not there, you can also go through my videos. So if people whom, as a president, people that you trust to protect you are now trying to kill you, what then are you supposed to do? Okay, Nkrumah then decided to form his own bodyguard, people that he felt were loyal to him. And the problem was that some of the officers in the president's own guard, enjoyed, of course, certain preferential treatment. They were getting, they were given higher pay with certain incentives that the military, of course, was not getting. And so that also infuriated the armed forces to plan a coup against Nkrumah. Again, the army, of course, was also not happy with the dismissal of Major, of course, General Otu and also Ankara. So General Ankara, of course, was dismissed, of course, following the assassination attempts on Nkrumah's life. And Ankara will later be a very influential figure in the overthrow of Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now, the last of the reasons, even though there are many, was the establishment of the one-party state or system by Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So then, the 1964 plebiscite established Ghana as a one-party state, with the CPP becoming the only legal party with its flag as the flag of Ghana. Now later, Nkrumah announced on radio the names of those whom he had chosen to form the new parliament, instead of allowing for a competitive election to take place. Okay. Now this incident was very funny. Why was it funny? Funny because most of these new of course parliamentarians did not even know the exact location of their constituencies, and that was a problem for many. And this also did not, of course, made it possible for a smooth change of government. So these and many more, of course, reasons led to the overthrow of Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. There are some other, of course, reasons like the foreign influence and all of that, but I think these were the major ones, but that led to the whatever. And there may be also others like corruption and all of that, Nkrumah spending money building houses, but those, of course, reasons to me I find not tangible, because Nkrumah today we can't pinpoint that this is Nkrumah's house or that is Nkrumah's house. So if you are writing that he stole the country's money, he did this, he did that, what actually 6 years of being in power, not even 6 years, more than 6 years. He became the leader of government business in 1957 through to 1960, 1966. How many years in there? But can we boast of any building, anything that Nkrumah built, or even outside, or even here? No. So I don't really, of course, subscribe to he spent money, he was misusing whatever state funds and all of that. But these are the most important. If you have any other, of course, reason that you think or you agree or disagree, share your view in the comment section for us, and we will be very glad to do that for you. Thank you very much for your time.